Okay, let's talk about this movie right now. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Frankie Freako, the newest film from director Steven Kostanski. So in the newest movie from the director of PG, Psycho Gorman, comes a movie that is, in essence, in the vein of Garbage Pail Kids, or any of those kind of really crazy over-the-top puppet movies. It's a story of this workaholic yuppie named Connor, who is played by Connor Sweeney, who in essence is just not a very smart person, to be fairly honest. He's one of those people that does things that really upsets people. He upsets his really attractive girlfriend, and his girlfriend goes away for the weekend, and he keeps getting calls and he keeps getting flyers for this character named Frankie Freako, who is this partier. So yeah. And what ends up happening is these three creatures, including Frankie Freako, basically unraveled this gentleman's life, this guy Connor's life, and basically becomes this odyssey of drunkenness and partyiness, and turns into a very strange odyssey in a lot of respects. That's the easiest way to put this film or this movie into context. So I'm the first person to admit I have not seen Psycho Gorman or anything that Steven Kostanski has done, but I really liked the trailer for this movie. I thought it looked wild. I thought it looked like could be a lot of fun, energetic. It just looked like a good time. What I didn't expect is what I got, to be fairly honest. It's a movie that has a lot of heart put into it, but going into a movie like this, not knowing what the director has done before outside of Psycho Gorman, the kind of credibility he has with that film, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I really didn't. And it sounds like I'm going to bash this film from this kind of what you're hearing, but I had to put that in context. Have never seen his other films. This was given to me as a screener. I appreciate it as always. And so for my honest review is this movie's just not for me, to be fairly honest. I like weird, crazy, bad taste, or Meet the Feebles, the Peter Jackson creature feature films, or, weird Odyssey type films. I think this movie really has struggles to maintain any concept of logic or reason or storytelling. I think this is a movie that is going to be for a certain subset of audience, and that audience apparently is not me, because I really didn't like this movie at all, to be fairly honest. And it's not to say that there isn't a lot of love put into this movie. There's not to say that there is definitely a level of goofiness. There's a level of campiness that this movie does. But I think the creatures, outside of looking really cool, are the characters, the Frankie Freako. I don't think there's a lot of substance to these monsters, creatures, whatever you want to call them. I think they're not what it was called. The dialogue that the people who are masking over these monsters do a very good job. I think it's really weird. I think it feels way more low budget than it should. I think it goes places that, from what I hear about Psycho Gorman, are a little much of a downturn of storytelling, and this should be a movie that should be right up my alley. But I was just kind of like, I'm sitting here watching this movie, and I get the campiness of like the way it plays out, the way it's shot, and kind of like a 90s, very early 90s like aesthetic in a lot of respects. But once Frankie Freako comes in and you start getting that plot thread of like what they're doing, how they're celebrating, how it leads to the eventual conclusion, the way Connor Sweeney's character kind of is portrayed, and how his arc happens, it just is weird. It doesn't make any sense. It's just not something that I found appetizing or interesting or well to do and well to like. And I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but that's what I feel. I don't feel this is a very good movie. I think this movie, it tests my patience. Will test a lot of people's patience, because the trailer definitely sells it as a much more interesting, chaotic film. And here it's chaotic, but it really struggles under its own weight of what it's trying to do. The editing is pretty awful. The storytelling is pretty awful. The characters are not great. I know it's campy, but nothing of it works for me. So that's just kind of how I feel about this movie. I give Steven Kostanski and the crew for at least crafting some interesting looking monsters. And I think they do what they have with the budget they have, make them do things that are interesting, but a lot of it just feels very weird and rote in a lot of respects. So take that for what it's worth. I know if you watch this and you're like, well, he doesn't understand Frankie Freako's, character arc and storytelling. No, I get what they're going for. I just don't think it's very well executed. I mean, Meet the Feebles is one of the weirdest movies you'll ever watch, and same thing with Bad Taste. And I think they're really well executed. I think it goes for a very kind of interesting, dark, like Odyssey of Acids type of scenario, and I just don't think that's what happens here. It is what it is. I still give a lot of credit to Steven Kostanski for what he did in this movie, but it's not for me. So take that for what it's worth. If you like it, more power to you. I'm happy for you, but if you didn't, definitely understand that as well. So anyways, with that said, that's gonna be my take on Frankie Freako. I think it's gonna be either limited release or VOD. It's gonna come out eventually here soon. So there you go. Anyways, with that said, thank you so much for watching my review of Frankie Freako. I appreciate it. Comments below. What do you think of Steven Kostanski's other films? Do you like them? Do you not like them? What is your overall take on how you feel about this movie if you've seen it? So let me know in the comments. Otherwise, if you like what you see on the channel, awesome. Hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at top to what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.